we are, the AM session of Portland Trail Riders Hare Scramble 2019. This is the 65cc division, and Brayden just took the lead, so he's off to a good start here. Did not get the whole shot. Looks like Mason Wolf took the whole shot. So congrats to Mason. He's putting together some good rides here the last couple weeks, looking good. Brayden's coming up through and catching some of the individuals from the class in front of him now, and he's making some good time here in this first lap. And Portland, they had about a 5.5 mile loop for the kids here this morning. They rode majority of the motocross track here, and then they had some grass track, kind of went through some pines, a little bit in and out, and then they had a little bit of woods, kind of a little bit of back and forth, going through the little bit of wood section that Portland has here on their property. There's one thing Brayden's gotten more comfortable with this year, it's passing. Last year he would have sat behind those riders for a little bit waiting for the perfect opportunity, but he's been a little bit more aggressive this year, stick his nose in there and just kind of make the pass a little bit easier than what he would have last year. So they're coming through the scoring segment. This is actually only about, 2 minutes into the ride, if that. Wasn't the full lap, so they're coming through scoring the first time, and they're going to go back out. So this video will be that little bit you saw there, and then his complete first lap, which essentially began right there as he went through scoring. I really wanted to be able to ride this Hare Scramble today. This was my second Hare Scramble I'd ever ridden last year, and I kind of wanted to do this one again to compare my progress, as I've ridden a lot more since then and become a lot more comfortable on the bike, to see the progression that I've made over the past year. But unfortunately my wife was out of town at a conference up in Chicago last week, and I wasn't able to have anybody watch the kids while I rode for 2.5 hours. So it would have been the older kids. I would probably just left them at the truck and let them cheer me on and whatnot. But I had my 3-year-old here today too. Didn't feel comfortable having Brayden watch her while I raced for a couple hours. So wasn't able to get on the bike today, unfortunately. But it's interesting looking back at this race last year compared to this track this year, just a different time of year. We ran this race in the spring last year. And here we are in the fall this year, and it looks completely different. The grass has grown up higher. It's a lot drier. Everything's a little more brown. So it's just interesting being back at the same track, but different season, how much different it can actually look. This was Brayden's last race on a 65, so he started off the Hare Scramble season on his 65. We hadn't purchased his 85 yet at that time, so he ran the first couple races of the Hare Scramble series before we actually got his 85, and he wanted to finish out the season on his 65 for Hare Scrambles, but then we've been riding, he's been riding his 85 in the sprint enduros and the family enduros that we ran, so he's been kind of going back and forth between the different size bikes, and he's definitely ready to graduate to the 85. So this was the last race on his 65. So his little sister Alexis will take over this bike for next year and start to get comfortable on it. She actually rode around the yard a little bit on it after this race when we went home this past weekend, but she's not strong enough to start it yet and has basically no idea how to use a clutch, so we've got a lot of work to do with that. She's been riding one of the KTM 50 autos, and as you know, they just have the auto clutch, and so that's going to be a learning experience for her next year, but we're excited to get her on the bike and let her riding progress as well. I think last year in the spring, I don't remember riding through all these pines as much as what they did here this year, and I think it's because they were able to ride in that agriculture field that hadn't been planted yet. I had to stay away from this, so it looks like they added the pine section that I don't recall riding that heavily in the spring last year. Brayden came in after his parade lap, and I refueled him before the race and whatnot, and I was shocked at how much fuel he had used on his parade lap, and kind of made me worry a little bit about, doing full forward laps on the tractor in the race at race speed. So after lap 3, towards the end of lap 3, he was in a slow section. I flagged him down and put about a liter of fuel in the bike just so we didn't have to worry about it. And glad we did, because he was pretty low. I think he rode for about an hour and 15 minutes during the race, and he was getting pretty low. When I dumped that liter of fuel in, I couldn't even see the fuel in his tank there, but he was eating through the fuel there pretty good. Not 100% sure he would have finished his final lap if I had not done that. So they actually never ran out of fuel in a Hare Scramble. We thought we did earlier this year at I don't know what race it was, Polka Dots. He was leading the Polka Dots and came through scoring. His bike bogged down. We thought he was out of fuel, and it actually turned out to be his low end crank was shot. So this is a little wood section that, and he's down. Back up quickly. Doesn't take much time to get going again, so lost maybe 10 seconds there, not bad. But a little bit of wood section Portland has here. They really try to make the most of it, so you kind of just weave back and forth throughout it, kind of going from one side of the creek to the other. It looks like we're running this section in reverse order than what I recall running it last year as well. I think we were coming the other direction. So I'm excited to see what Battle Creek has in store for us for this upcoming sprint enduro. I understand it's going to be a different course than what we rode in the 2 sprint enduros there earlier in the year. But you know, they've got a lot to offer there. That's an amazing motocross track, and they've got a pretty big wood section to work with. So they've always got some nice obstacles set up in the woods, some tires and logs and enduro cross or whatever. So Portland had a nice enduro cross section set up there. Kids didn't run that; they bypassed it and just rode alongside of it. But that looked like a fun little setup there. So this section of the track that they're on now was the section my daughters rode in the morning. Before this, it was the 50 auto track. So the kids actually rode out here for 20 minutes in the session before this one and had a good time. So, and I promised my daughters I would post a video of one of their races this year. So this is the last one that they're going to be competing in. So I had a GoPro on a Lexus, and I got some video of the girls riding through the course here. So at some point, I don't know if it'll be this week, I'm pretty behind on my videos right now. I've still got a couple family enduros to put out, and I'll have the sprint enduro from Battle Creek this weekend, but at some point I'll be putting out some footage of their race here at Portland as well. Well, I'm proud of the way Brayden rode today. He got out to a nice lead the first couple laps and then just kind of paced himself to stay where he was, and no major accidents, and came away with the victory and actually secured the championship for his division. So proud of him there. He's really excited to have accomplished that, and next year he'll be on to bigger and better things on a bigger bike with faster riders and older riders, and it's going to be a whole new challenge for him. So I know he's looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to watching him ride in the next class as well. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will see you at Battle Creek hopefully next weekend. Take care till then.